once again the end of a month, and therefore time to talk about all the books that I shouldn't have bought. Hello lovely people, my name's Nicole, and today I am going to be doing my May, it is May, right? May, yes, May book haul. I got a lot of books again this month, so let's just jump right in so this video isn't ridiculously long. So I'm gonna start off with the books that I had in paperback and repurchased in hardcover. All of these were from like secondhand shops, so they weren't too pricey. And the first one is City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare. This is the second book in the Mortal Instruments series, and now I have all of them in hardcover! Yes! Finally, after like 10 years, I finally have them all in hardcover, and now they're all pretty and matching. The next one is The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. This is a dystopian series about like kids with superpowers, and like it's complicated. Again, now I have this entire series in hardcover. Then I have two books from the Gone series by Michael Grant, and that is Gone and Fear. This is a series in which one day all the adults in this small town in California just totally disappear. Poof, gone. Everyone over 15 is vanished. And so it's these teenagers, kids, mostly kids, just sort of having to live by themselves in their weird like mutations. And again, now I have this entire series in hardcover. Then these next two are books that are personal favorites of mine, and special editions for them came out this month, so I had to pick them up. And the first one is, of course, Fangirl. Surprise, surprise, Nicole got another edition of Fangirl. Just be happy that I don't have all three colors, because if I had more money, I would. Because I actually really want all three covers because they're all so pretty. But this is the yellow special edition of Fangirl. The yellow one is from Indigo in Canada. I ordered it from Canada because I specifically wanted the yellow one. Priorities. So yes, if you don't know, Fangirl is one of my all-time favorite books. So this is now I think my third copy of it. But now I have it, and it has a sneak peek from Carry On! And then the other special edition I got is the Percy Jackson 10th Anniversary Edition. It has the new covers that the new paperbacks have, but it's a pretty hardcover. I kind of want the entire thing in hardcover. But it has a bunch of like extra bonus material in it, and interviews with Rick Riordan and maps and such, and so very fun. Lots of new exciting things in this. Now on to the new books, new to me books, starting with Pip Bartlett's Guide to Magical Creatures by Jackson Pierce and Maggie Stiefvater. I actually got this signed by both of them because I went to their event in Seattle at the beginning of the month. So that's really exciting. This is such a cute book about a girl who can talk to magical creatures. It's a middle grade, and she can talk to magical creatures, she can talk to unicorns and griffins, and she is struggling because there's these new creatures in her town that when they get upset, they catch on fire, and they're causing chaos, and she and her friends have to stop them. The next book I have has a bookmark in it because I'm currently reading it, and that is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. This has so many rave reviews. I'm not very far into it. I'm only like 20 pages in. But so far it's pretty good. It's about a girl whose brother like gets kidnapped or like arrested or something, and she gets sold into slavery, I think, and a boy who is in the army, and they're both sort of dealing with the fact that they feel like neither of them are free to be who they want to be and do what they want to do. And from what I've heard, it's kind of a Romeo and Juliet type thing, an awesome high fantasy, so I'm very excited to continue reading this. Next up is an exciting continuation of a series with one of the prettiest covers I have ever seen, and that is The Heir by Kiara Cass. This is a continuation of the Selection series. It's sort of a duology sequel series. And so this is about the main characters from the previous book's daughter, who is the princess of the land, and now she is going through a selection. And so it's really cool because we get to see the selection. Before, we got to see it from the point of view of one of the contestants, and this time we get to see it from the point of view of the person who has to pick between 35 suitors. The next book is one that I was so excited to get. It was probably one of my most anticipated releases of this entire year, and I've already read it and uploaded a review for it, which I will link in the doobly-doo, and that is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I love Sarah J. Maas so much. I was so excited to get my hands on this. I read it pretty much immediately. This is about a girl named Feyre who lives in this land where humans and fairies coexist, but the fairies used to enslave the humans. After a huge war, they were forced to release their slaves, but there's still a lot of tension. And one day, Feyre kills a fairy, and so she now owes the Fae a life debt and has to go live with them. And it is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, epic high fantasy, totally amazing. I'll talk about it more in my wrap-up. The next book I have is another sequel, and that is The Wicked Roll Rise by Danielle Page. This is the sequel to Dorothy Must Die, which is about a girl who gets swept away in a tornado to Oz from Kansas, of course. But it's not the same Oz that we saw in Wizard of Oz. This is after the Wizard of Oz, and now Dorothy has come back and decided that she doesn't really want to give up the magic, and so she is now a evil dictator of Oz, and the good witches are kind of crazy and evil now, and the bad witches might be the good guys, and so Amy is trying to save Oz, and this is the sequel to that. The next book I have is The Fill-In Boyfriend by Casey West. This is a super cute, fluffy contemporary romance about a girl whose boyfriend dumps her right before she was about to walk into prom and prove to her friends that he's real, because they didn't quite believe her because they've never met him before. But he dumps her and she kind of panics. She doesn't want her friends to think she's lying, so she grabs the first cute guy she sees just hanging out in his car and has him pretend to be her boyfriend. And then after prom, she realizes she can't stop thinking about him. And it's super cute. I've already read it. I talked about it a little bit in my previous video, and I'll talk about it more in my wrap-up. Next, I have another contemporary, and that is We Are All Made of Molecules by Susan Nielsen. This is, first of all, great cover. I love this. It was one of the things that originally drew me to it. It's also really short. And this is about a girl whose dad came out to her mom a while ago, and they got divorced, and she's now dealing with the fact that her mom is dating this other guy, and that other guy is moving in with his son. And this girl she's sort of the quintessential popular girl. It's very sort of Mean Girls, the clique type thing with her and her friends, very catty. And this guy that's moving in with her is her age, a little bit younger. And he's not so cool, not someone she wants to be associated with. He's kind of a nerd, and he's kind of socially awkward, and it's told in a dual perspective of the girl and the guy, and it's just them sort of learning to live with the changes that are happening with their families, and living with this new blended household that neither of them wanted in the first place. Next is another book that was really, really high on my anticipated reads list for this year, and that is Extraordinary Means by Robin Schneider. I absolutely adore Robin Schneider, and I was so excited to get this when it came out just a little while ago. And this is about a boy named Lane who is diagnosed with tuberculosis, and he's diagnosed with a rare and fictional strain of tuberculosis that is untreatable. They can kind of treat it, but mostly they're just trying to keep them alive, see if they'll get better. It doesn't really respond to any of the drugs that they have. And so he is living in this place called Latham House, which is basically a sort of mix between a hospital, like, care facility and a, like, wilderness retreat, spa type thing, and, like, a containment type thing. And when he is at this place, he reconnects with a girl he knew from summer camp a couple years ago, and they fall for each other. And it's super cute. It's told from, again, dual perspectives, from the girl and the guy's point of view. We're almost done, I promise. The next book I have is The Wrath and the Dawn by, I'm sorry, I'll try my best, Renee Adia, I think. There's a pronunciation guide on her website, and I think that's sort of right, but I'm not sure. I'm sorry if I messed it up. But this is it's not really retelling, it's more inspired by Arabian Nights. And it is about a girl who lives in a kingdom where there's this young 18-year-old king, and every single night he marries a new girl, and every single morning the girl is found dead with rope wrapped around her neck. And our main character's best friend was just killed by the king, and now she wants revenge. And so her plan is to marry the king and kill him before he can kill her. But things are not quite as they seem. And I've already read this. Again, I will talk about it in my wrap-up. The second to last book that I bought was, again, another super anticipated book. This was a really good month for really anticipated books. And that is P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. This is the sequel to All the Boys I Loved Before, and so I can't really talk about the plot of this one, but the first one is about a teenage girl who, whenever she has had a crush on a guy and she's ready to be over him, she writes him a letter and tells him all of her feelings, and then she seals the letter and puts it away in her closet and never sends them. And then one day they get sent out, and she has to deal with sort of the fallout of that. And so this is a sequel. It picks up pretty much immediately after the previous one left off, and it was so good. I'll talk about it more in my wrap-up. And the final book in this haul is A Wicked Thing by Rhiannon Thomas. This is a Sleeping Beauty retelling, although it's less of a retelling and more of a continuation. It picks up right after Sleeping Beauty was woken up by some random stranger kissing her, and now expecting to marry her, and seems like it'd be a little freaky. And so I don't really know all that much about it beyond the idea that it's a Sleeping Beauty continuation, but it looks amazing, and I'm very excited to read it. So, those are all the books I have this month. It's a lot of books. I'm not excited to make the thumbnail, but I'm actually pretty happy with myself, because even though I bought a lot of books, as I was going through, I realized that I've only not read like 3 of them, and one of them I'm currently reading, and another one of them I haven't read it because it literally just arrived on my doorstep like an hour ago. So I'm actually feeling really good about that. I've been doing a lot of reading this month, as you will see in my wrap-up, and yeah. So let me know if there's any interesting books that you bought this month, or if you've read any of these books and what you thought. I love you, and I will see you later. Bye!